Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something. Relationships are complicated, but they are not as complicated as we make them out to be. You know, you ever look at somebody who loves you, who truly cares for you, but sometimes it feels like they're just ignoring you? When someone truly loves you, they understand that love is not just about being constantly present. It's about allowing space for growth, both individually and as a couple. Often we get caught up in the idea that if someone loves us, they should always be around, showing affection, giving attention, and reassuring us every step of the way. But real love recognizes that growth requires room to breathe, to explore, and to evolve. In relationships, sometimes the best thing someone can do for you is to step back and give you the time and space you need to discover who you are without their constant influence. Love is about wanting the best for the other person, and sometimes that means stepping away to let them face challenges on their own. It's easy to fall into the trap of thinking that love means always being there to help solve every problem, to offer advice or comfort, but real love acknowledges that you are capable of navigating life on your own, that you have the strength and ability to handle obstacles without needing constant validation or assistance. By giving you space, the one who loves you is allowing you to grow into the person you are meant to be. When we think about growth, it's not just about personal development in a professional sense or achieving new goals. It's also about emotional growth, about figuring out what we truly need and who we are outside of any relationship. Love, it gives space, is a form of respect, allowing you the freedom to take the time necessary to understand your own desires, needs, and boundaries. When we are constantly surrounded by someone, it can be difficult to hear our own voice, to hear our own inner thoughts and desires. In a relationship, space allows for clarity. Sometimes when we're in the middle of something, whether it's a career decision, a personal struggle, or even just figuring out what we want from life, it can be hard to think clearly when someone is always around offering their opinions, advice, or comfort. It's easy to become reliant on the presence of others, but growth occurs when we learn to rely on ourselves, to trust our instincts, and to navigate challenges without depending on someone else's constant input. The beauty of love that gives space is that it's not about distance in the traditional sense. It's about emotional freedom. It's about knowing that the love is still there even when it's not overtly expressed in every moment. The person who loves you enough to step back trusts that your connection will remain strong, that you will both come back together when the time is right. This space doesn't signify a break in the relationship or a lack of affection. It's simply an understanding that growth requires time and sometimes separation. When someone loves you enough to give you space, they are not abandoning you. They are investing in your future. Understanding that growth sometimes means finding your way independently first, so that when you do come together, you bring a more fulfilled, stronger version of yourself to the relationship. The one who loves you a lot knows that true love isn't about possession or constant proximity. It's about letting each other flourish in the time and space that's needed for each person to grow into the best version of themselves. Distance in a relationship can often be misunderstood. Many people view it as a sign that the love has faded, that the bond between two people is weakening or breaking. But in reality, distance doesn't always equal a loss of love. Sometimes it's quite the opposite. When someone loves you a lot, they don't need to be right by your side every single moment to show you that they care. In fact, the space they create may be one of the most profound expressions of their love for you. When we think of love, we often think about it in terms of proximity. The more someone is around, the more we feel loved, and the less they are, the less we feel that affection. But love is much deeper than physical presence. It's not always about showing up every time, checking in at all hours, or being there for every little thing. Sometimes real love is about allowing the other person the freedom to live their own life, make their own decisions, and pursue their individual path. It's about trusting that the bond you share is strong enough to withstand the natural ebbs and flows of life. One of the most important things to understand is that love is built on trust. When someone loves you deeply, they trust you enough to let you be yourself, even if that means you're not always in constant contact. They know that being apart doesn't mean you're drifting away from each other. It's a sign that the relationship can withstand challenges and distance. It's easy to think that love is all about constant communication and time spent together, but that's a limited view of what love really is. Love thrives in the understanding that even when you're apart, the foundation remains strong. Distance can also offer perspective. It allows both people to take a step back and reflect on what they truly want, not just from the relationship, but from life in general. In the rush of day-to-day interactions, it's easy to lose sight of the bigger picture. When you have space from someone you love, you are given the opportunity to look at the relationship from a fresh angle, to reassess your goals, your desires, and your values. This distance is not a sign of detachment. It's a way to grow both individually and together. Love that endures distance is also a testament to the strength of that love. It's easy to stay close when everything is going well, when the relationship feels easy and effortless. But the true test of love comes when there's distance, physical, emotional, or mental. The one who loves you deeply understands that while being apart can sometimes be hard, it doesn't have to be a negative experience. They know that distance doesn't break the bond. In fact, it can make it stronger, as long as there is trust, respect, and the understanding that love is not measured by how close you are in every single moment. The love that survives distance doesn't diminish with time. Instead, it grows more resilient, more profound. It's a love that doesn't need constant validation or attention. It's a love that is patient, that knows the value of time apart, and understands that space is sometimes necessary for both people to flourish in their own lives. When two people can love each other through distance, it's not a sign of weakness. It's a sign that the love they share is deep enough to endure the challenges that come with time and space. Patience is one of the most overlooked yet crucial aspects of love. In a world where everything moves fast and we expect instant gratification, it's easy to forget that sometimes the greatest demonstration of love is giving someone the time they need to grow, heal, or simply figure things out. Love that is patient doesn't demand constant attention or reassurance. It allows space, time, and grace for both individuals to evolve at their own pace. When someone loves you a lot, they understand that real love isn't about rushing through life together. It's about moving forward when the time is right, not when you're pressured to. We live in a time where people expect things to happen instantly. Texts need to be answered immediately. Plans should be set in stone quickly, and relationships must always progress in a linear, predictable way. However, real love doesn't work like that. It doesn't demand answers or decisions on a tight timeline. Sometimes love means stepping back and allowing things to unfold as they will, with no set deadlines, no urgency, and no pressure. Patience is about recognizing that the relationship, like everything else in life, takes time to grow and develop. It's not about forcing a connection to deepen or rushing through the stages of emotional intimacy. Instead, it's about letting the relationship breathe and letting both partners grow individually and as a unit. When someone is patient with you, they're showing you an immense amount of respect. They know that you have your own process, your own journey, and that it will take time to get to a place where you're both ready to move forward together. Sometimes we're not in the place we need to be emotionally, mentally, or physically, and we need time to figure things out. Love that is patient doesn't rush us through that process. It doesn't demand that we skip the steps of self-discovery, healing, or reflection. Instead, it stands by, understanding that growth requires time and that no one can be rushed through their own personal development. Patience in love also means that the person who loves you isn't constantly looking for immediate returns. They're not expecting you to fulfill every emotional need right away or for things to always be perfect in the relationship. They understand that sometimes love is a quiet, steady presence rather than something dramatic and overwhelming. Love that is patient sees the bigger picture, understanding that not everything is going to happen according to a neat, tidy timeline. It knows that relationships ebb and flow and that sometimes you need to sit with the uncertainty before clarity comes. When patience is present in love, there is trust. It's the trust that even though things might not be perfect in the moment, they will work themselves out. It's the belief that even through tough times, love will remain steady. Patience says, I'm not going anywhere. I trust you, and I trust the journey we're on no matter how long it takes. It's the opposite of impatience, which demands immediate results and cannot handle the complexities of life and love. Real love is patient because it understands that growth, change, and progress take time. It's not about pushing or rushing things, but rather about creating space for both people to evolve naturally. Patience in love is a commitment to the process of building a strong, lasting bond, one that is built on understanding, respect, and the willingness to wait for the right moments to come without forcing them to happen sooner than they should. True love isn't about holding someone so tightly that they can't breathe. It's about creating a safe space where both people can be themselves and support each other in becoming the best versions of themselves. Independence within a relationship is often misunderstood. People tend to believe that being in love means being constantly entwined, that everything should be shared, every moment spent together, and every decision made as a unit. But real love recognizes that both partners have their own individual identities, passions, and desires. It's about respecting the other person's autonomy and supporting them in their personal growth, even if it means occasionally stepping back to give them space. When someone loves you, they understand that you are not defined solely by your relationship with them. You are an individual with your own dreams, goals, and aspirations. They don't want to smother you or hold you back from pursuing the things that make you happy or challenge you to grow. True love is not about creating dependency, but about building a foundation where both people can stand tall on their own while still coming together in support of each other. The more independent each person is, the stronger the relationship can be because they bring their full, authentic selves to it. Supporting someone's independence is one of the most profound acts of love. It means encouraging them to pursue their passions, to grow in their career, or to work through their own struggles without feeling like their partner is constantly overbearing or questioning their choices. Independence isn't about distancing yourself emotionally from your partner. It's about respecting their right to live their life in a way that feels true to them. It's about understanding that personal growth doesn't stop just because you're in a relationship. If anything, The best relationships encourage both people to expand their horizons, take risks, and evolve into the people they're meant to be. In a relationship where both people value independence, there's a sense of trust that the love shared between them isn't conditional on being together every moment of the day or fulfilling each other's every need. It's built on the understanding that both individuals have their own lives, but they choose to share time, experiences, and love with each other. It's knowing that despite any time spent apart or moments where one person is pursuing their own path, the connection remains solid and secure. Independence is not about detachment. It's about knowing that the love you have is strong enough to weather time apart and still thrive. When independence is valued in a relationship, it leads to a deeper connection because both people feel free to be themselves. They can bring their best selves to the relationship because they aren't relying on their partner to fulfill every emotional need. Instead, they support each other as equals, each bringing their own unique strengths, passions, and perspectives. The more independent you are, the more you can appreciate each other as individuals, and the less likely it is that the relationship will feel suffocating or stifling. True love understands that being together doesn't mean being the same person or losing oneself in the other. It means that both partners are free to be fully themselves, secure in the knowledge that the love they share will support them through their individual journeys. This kind of love doesn't hold you back. It lifts you up, encourages you to pursue your dreams, and stands beside you as you navigate your own path. When someone loves you, they show that love in many ways, and one of the most significant ways is by giving you space to grow and learn without constantly seeking reassurance or attention. The concept of trust is integral in love and is something that runs deeper than just a simple notion of believing that someone isn't going to betray you. Trust in a relationship is about believing that even when there's a little distance between you, the connection you share is unshakable. When someone loves you deeply, they trust you enough to let you have the time and space you need to find your own way, knowing that the bond between you is strong enough. Love that trust doesn't rely on constant interaction to feel secure. It's not about needing to hear from the other person all the time or needing to be physically close to feel loved. It's about knowing that even when you're apart, the love is still there, strong and unbreakable. This trust doesn't demand constant reassurance because the love itself provides that sense of security. The one who loves you deeply believes in you, your strength, and your ability to stand on your own without needing them by your side. Trust in a relationship also involves respecting the other person's individuality. It's the understanding that even though you may be in a partnership, both of you have lives, dreams, and goals outside of the relationship that are important for your personal growth. The love that trusts doesn't seek to control, possess, or dictate how things should go. Instead, it lets each person pursue what they need to, knowing that the love they share is strong enough to weather time apart and the pursuit of individual aspirations. This trust isn't about controlling each other's actions, but about allowing space for both individuals to thrive. When someone loves you and trusts you, they don't need to be involved in every decision or every move you make. They believe that you are capable of navigating life on your own and that when the time is right, you'll come back together stronger and more complete as individuals. This type of trust is empowering. It allows each person to feel secure enough to explore who they are outside of the relationship, knowing that the love they share will still be there when they return. Moreover, trust in love means not needing constant validation. There's no pressure to prove your feelings because both individuals understand that actions and intentions speak louder than words. You don't have to explain every thought, every feeling, or every decision to the other person. There's a sense of security in knowing that even without constant confirmation, the love and trust remain. It's the kind of love where you know the person has your back even when they're not physically present. Trust also means respecting each other's time apart, allowing each person to recharge, focus on their personal goals, or simply have a moment to breathe. This space isn't a sign of detachment or disinterest. It's a sign of respect for each other's independence and growth. When you trust someone deeply, you understand that they don't need to be with you every moment to show that they love you. The love itself is the reassurance, the constant, the foundation that